In a world increasingly defined by fast-paced progress and the relentless pursuit of monetary success, there are still some places on the planet where life follows a different rhythm. My name is Emily. I'm from London, and the urban jungle is the main environment I've always known. For several years, however, I've wanted to discover a different pace of life and have been looking for something more meaningful, connected, and sustainable. And so I made a decision. I left the city behind and embarked on a journey to experience life in an eco-village. Welcome to the Molino de Guadalmesi, where sustainability and community come together in perfect harmony. Here, every aspect of life is thoughtfully designed to nurture both the inhabitants and the surrounding environment. Okay, let me first set the scene. The Molino lies in the middle of the mountains at the southernmost tip of Spain. Built around an old abandoned mill, it's a community that offers a space for learning and living sustainably. Over the last 20 years, the community has had more than 1,000 volunteers who have contributed to building and maintaining the village, myself included. Let me introduce you to the core group that I lived with during my month there. Johnny, founder of the Molino. He studied philosophy, started a few businesses, also studied architecture, worked as a creative director, and he was the international coordinator of the Iberian Eco-Village Network. He really did a bit of everything before he started the Molino. Martinez. She's been living and working at the Molino for about 3 years now. Her main area of expertise is in the garden, and boy was there a lot to learn from her there. Patri and Alex, volunteers like me, they arrived about a month before I did, and are also new to this way of living. Okay, now for a tour. Most of the village is outside, so you're always walking through the forest to get to a different spot. We've already seen the sala, a standalone room where we typically do yoga and meditation. There's also a huge library of books on a wide range of topics there. Next, let's go to the goat pen. Around 8 a.m. every morning, the goats have to be milked. We collect around 15 to 20 litres of milk a day. Not all the mothers feed their babies, so we use some of the collected milk to feed them. After the milking and feeding is finished, we let the goats out so they can spend the day on the mountains. Now let's go to the gardens. This is the reforestation area, where we grow all kinds of fruit trees: oranges, lemons, peaches, kumquat, olives, you name it. During the summer months, it gets so hot and dry that we need to water the trees every few days. Patri is clearing a path so we can get to the trees. I usually spent my mornings in the vegetable gardens. It's a life goal of mine to become as self-sufficient and sustainable as possible, which includes growing my own food. The best way to learn, of course, is by doing. Subscribe to watch the next episode where we'll dig deeper into time-honoured strategies that Nina's shared with me to optimise conditions for the vegetables to grow well. Oh, want to know what we did with all the milk that we collected in the morning? Yep, we make cheese, or yoghurt, every single day. This was definitely one of the coolest things I learned to do, but again, more on that in the next episode. To the workshop next. Other than the original structure of the mill, the rest of the Molino has been built by Johnny and other community members over the last 20 years. Because the village is so large, you can only get Wi-Fi close to the router, so Alex took on the project of building a new workspace within signal reach. The work basically continues like this until the middle of the morning, around 11 a.m, when we get together for breakfast and our daily meeting. It's a check-in to see how everyone is feeling and what tasks we were doing that day. We also discuss other tasks that might need to be done, and then distribute them between us, giving everyone an opportunity to take the tasks they wanted and had capacity for. We would also decide the cooking and cleaning rota for the week, and to my surprise, we used Trello to organise tasks so we could all keep track of what's been done. We'd then get back to our tasks for the day. Alright, now to the kitchen. As they say, the kitchen is the heart of the home. At the Molino, the kitchen and patio are the main common areas where we obviously cook, eat, and also have our daily mid-morning meetings. Oh, and this structure was the original old mill. You can still see features of it in places. Lunch is the main meal we have together each day, and we take turns in cooking for everyone. We usually eat lunch around 3 p.m, and it's often a soup or salad, and then a main meal with different grains and vegetables. Always fresh, organic, and delicious. The chickens are absolute scavengers and will eat any scraps from our lunch that they can get. After lunch, everyone takes a rest, has a siesta. By this time, it's the hottest part of the day, which is why we get most of our tasks done in the morning before it gets too hot. One observation I had was on stamina. For people like myself that have spent the majority of our lives sat at a desk in front of a screen, it takes a bit of time for our bodies to adjust to constant physical activity. Whereas for Johnny and Nina's, although a little bit older, they were much fitter and stronger and somehow able to keep going for much longer without getting tired. Late afternoons were a good time to take a shower, and yes, the shower was outside. It is a structure that has been built with materials from the surrounding area, and it does have hot water. It's a pretty liberating feeling to shower outside. We would also have free time to go to the beach or explore the surrounding nature and go for a spot of rock climbing or wild swimming. The day isn't over just yet. The first time I went to collect the goats with Johnny, I had no idea what I was in for. Leggings were the thickest trousers that I'd brought with me, but they weren't thick enough to protect me from the huge, sharp, wild, thorny plants that covered the entire mountainside. I had no idea where we were going, but after doing this for 20 years, Johnny knows the mountains like the back of his hand. One of the goats has a GPS on its collar, so we can keep track of where they are. They also know their own way home, so they're totally fine. The goats move against the wind, so their scent isn't picked up. The need to hide from predators is still ingrained into their DNA. Abuela is the oldest and the protector of the group. She's always at the back of the pack, making sure everyone stays together, and she's the last to go home. She won't go inside until everyone else is safely in. By the time we finish herding the goats home, the sun has usually set. The chickens have already made their way into the coop, and everyone else is in their cavities.